What's up, everybody? It's another edition of Strictly Scouse. My name is JP. I'm your host. Sorry, I've been on a bit of a break. Obviously, as a Liverpool fan lately, it's been a tough go at things. So I'm going to quickly recap the previous two matches that preceded Sunday's match against West Ham. So on the 22nd of November, Liverpool faced off against Nottingham Forest, and as I'm sure you know already, very disappointing result. Lost 3-0 to Nottingham Forest. I thought there were some good things by us in that match. I thought that we played pretty well and that we had a good flow, but we just really couldn't create chances. And the same story all year. Just when it comes to defending, when it comes to that back line, when it comes to helping out on defense, it's just been a real struggle. So obviously a very disappointing result, 3-0, especially with Nottingham Forest having a fresh manager in there. So obviously they got something figured out and had a good game plan to come in and beat us. So disappointing loss in the Premier League, but it is what it is. And then the other match I wanted to quickly touch on was the Champions League match against PSV. Again, another horrible performance, probably one of the worst performances I've seen from us all season. I mean, you lose 4-1. You look up and down the rosters. I mean, it's clear that Liverpool has better players. We have better reserves. We have a better manager. Should have no reason in the world to lose that match, especially in the way that we did. So, again, another super disappointing loss. Obviously, after a loss like that, the online chatter grows, louder and louder and louder. And, people are saying slot out. People are saying sell Mo. What are we going to do with Virgil? A bunch of different things, a bunch of different theories. So, as a whole, when you take losses like that, it's not good for the team. It's not good for the supporters. But it is what it is. Besides that, we've been doing decent in the Champions League. So I think the approach might be to really take that competition seriously as we, progress through the season and go into next year. So we'll see how that all pans out. So, but then that brings us to present day. Yesterday we had a match against West Ham. It was an away match, so obviously it was a opportunity for the boys to travel and get outside the confines of Anfield and really just go into a hostile environment, because West Ham has some great supporters, and go in there and try to get a result. So I was impressed with both team sheets. Honestly, I thought that West Ham put out a really strong starting 11. I think that players like Bowen and Paqueta and some other players that they have are very good, very competent players, very good players in the league who produce. So when I saw the squad, I was like, okay, this is gonna be a good match. So but then you look over to Liverpool and there were a couple changes. So the big change was on the right wing. Slot dropped Mo Salah. It was a huge piece of news leading up to the match. The team sheets usually come out like an hour and a half before the match starts. So it was already circulating online and on Instagram and stuff that Salah had been dropped. So obviously mixed emotions from people. Me personally, I think at this point in the game, with the run that we've had and the bad form that we've had, I think that if you're on a slot, you have to play the best players. And sure, Mo is an all-time great. He's going to go down as a Liverpool legend. I love him. He's my favorite Liverpool player. But right now, there's just something off. His form is just lacking right now. I don't know if it's a confidence thing. I don't know if it's the passing of Diogo. I don't know if it's thinking about the World Cup, thinking about maybe an offer coming from the Saudi leagues. I really don't know. It could be a combination of a couple different things, but point being, he's not his typical self. He's not scoring goals. He's not creating chances like we would expect him to do, and like he's being paid to do, to be honest. So he was dropped. Cody Gakpo moves from the left wing over to the right wing. In my opinion, he could play all three positions up top. He can play either wing. He could play striker. So I was totally fine with that. The big shock, which I guess it wasn't a complete shock because we've seen him there in a couple matches this season, especially recently, was Florian Wirtz sliding over to the left and being on that left wing. When he came to Liverpool, everyone was like, "Oh, this kid's a playmaker. He's a 10. He's a distributor. He's so creative. He could shoot with both feet. He's fast. He's thoughtful. He's smart. All these things." So, obviously our expectations were very high for him, and up to this point of the season, it's been an adjustment to get used to this Premier League style play. But like I was telling a buddy earlier, and I'll get to this here in a minute, but I think Florian Wirtz had his best match in Liverpool colors yesterday on Sunday. So we'll get to that a little bit later. But Alexander Isak starts at number 9. Obviously, was happy to see that. It looks like he's kind of back to fitness. He's kind of shook off that little injury. So let's hope he can stay healthy and get to a really good form, because let's be real. Like, when he's healthy and producing, he's one of the best strikers in the world, not named Erling Haaland. So we'll see what goes on with that. Midfield stays unchanged. Gravenberch, McAllister, and Szoboszlai. That's my preferred 3. I think we got to rock that for as long as we can. I think being able to put Wirtz in the midfield, Curtis Jones, sub in Endo every once in a while, players like that, I think that they're good, and like they could serve a purpose in the team and with the squad and stuff. But those 3 of Gravenberch, Szoboszlai, and McAllister, we need them to get a rhythm again. We need them to be like the high performing machine that our midfield was last year. So I agree with starting them. I'm super happy about that. And to be honest with you, my favorite lineup change happened at right back, and that was old, tried and true, battle-tested Joe Gomez getting a chance to come into the starting 11 and start a match. And so we know he can play really anywhere on the back line. So putting him into right back, I thought was a good decision. I think he played really well. So I was happy that the manager trusted him in a big match. We definitely needed a result yesterday, and I think he knew that Joe was kind of up for the test. So definitely pumped that he came out and played well. Center backs, no surprise, Virgil and Konate. Nothing to really say there. And then Kirkez, he slotted in at the left back, which, recently Andy Robertson's been playing there, and I've gone on the record saying I think that somebody like Robo, with that leadership, with that experience, with that calmness to him, I think somebody like that being in our team right now, kind of seeing how up and down we are, I think that really helps to stabilize the group. But yeah, Kirkez slotted in there, and he played left back, and I'll kind of get to a little bit of analysis of him here in a bit. So that's the starting 11. Bench was looking good too. Was happy with the selections. And then the match started, and honestly, like it just felt like a different Liverpool team. It felt like we were connecting passes. It felt like we weren't afraid to create chances and shoot inside and outside the box. I thought there was a lot of creative play from the midfielders. And then back to the Kirkez thing. So when Gomez was in the right back position, it was almost like Gomez, Konate, and Van Dijk were kind of playing as like this back 3 for the back line, which a lot of teams do if you play like a 4-3-3. But what's it called? Kirkez, he's more of an attacking fullback. He wants to get up the pitch. He wants to string some passes along. He wants to, put pressure on the other opposing right back and the defenders and stuff. So I thought he did a really good job of possessing the ball and getting the ball out of our half and distributing the ball up to our midfielders and then up to our wingers and stuff. So I was actually very pleased with Kirkez yesterday. I think in addition to it being Wirtz's best performance in a Liverpool shirt, I think that Kirkez, it was arguably his best game too. So it came at a really good time, especially when the manager was kind of flip-flopping between him and Robertson. So I think that gives him a lot of confidence. I think it gives the team some confidence too, with a new signing coming in and kind of taking a little bit of time for him to adjust. So definitely pleased, definitely optimistic seeing Kirkez's performance. So that was good. The midfield I thought was great. Gravenberch was controlling the midfield. He was winning balls, winning duels, calm on the ball. Szoboszlai was being creative, trying to find those deep outlet passes and, through balls and whatnot. And then McAllister was just sturdy. He just possessed the ball. He was looking for the best pass, and he got us in some really good positions to create some chances. So all in all, I was really, really pleased with them. So, and then I'll go with the front line. So Gakpo, he scored a late goal, I think in the late 80s or maybe even in the early 90s. He scored a goal. It was a good goal. I mean, they crossed it into him. He kind of chested it, brought it down to his feet, and then finished with his right foot, pretty emphatically too. So he put some juice behind it, which was good to see. Sometimes I think Gakpo doesn't get the most power on his shots, but when he does get a hold of it, it's very hard to stop his shots. So that was definitely a good sign. I thought he played a great match altogether, but I think that's kind of the cherry on the top at the end when you get a goal. And, it helps with your confidence a little bit, especially when the manager moves you from the left to the right. And, I mean, the people who watch Liverpool and support Liverpool and know Cody Gakpo, he could play anywhere on that front line. So I was fine with him being on the right. I knew he was still going to be effective. So I thought he had a great match. And yeah, really pleased about what I saw out of him. Alexander Isak, my new favorite Liverpool number 9. That shirt means a lot to me because of Fernando Torres. He's the reason why I'm a Liverpool supporter in the first place. But I thought Isak had a great game. I thought that he was involved. I thought that he was trying to create chances. He was taking shots. Some of them weren't the best, but in my opinion, your striker needs to get as many attempts as possible. If he gets the ball in the box or inside the box and he can dribble once or twice or look for a pass and then get the ball back, most of the times you're going to be needing to shoot. And hopefully you get the ball on target, and he did that a couple times, so I was happy with that. And then close to the first half, I think it was either in like the early 30s or mid 30s, he got his first Premier League goal as a Red. So good goal. I mean, they got the ball to him, and he had to kind of make a decision real quick, and he had a solid strike and put it into the left side of the net. And it was a good finish. It was a very calm finish, composed finish. I think if you've watched Isak in these last couple of years, especially with Newcastle, that's something we're kind of accustomed to seeing. We're accustomed to see him scoring goals, making like hard and difficult goals look kind of easy. So again, I'm hoping that he really gets into a rhythm now, especially with Ekitike on the bench and in the form that he's in, and all the good play and all the good goals he's scored this year. So I hope Isak uses this as a bounce off to really find that elite striker form that we know he can be, and that frankly we paid him to be. So very, very happy with that. So, and then last but not least, I mentioned it earlier, Florian Wirtz. I love him. I mean, obviously it's been tough this year, like hearing all the chatter in the media and even fans, even supporters on some of these different blogs and channels. They just bitch and whine and complain and just say, oh, we wasted this money. We could have spent it on 2 or 3 other players in the transfer window, yada, yada, yada. I mean, the kid has serious potential. He has serious talent. I mean, whether it's Jurgen Klopp saying it, whether it's the German national team coach saying it, whether it's all the people in the Bundesliga who have said it, he's an amazing talent. I mean, when he plays like he did yesterday and some of the international matches that I see him play with Germany, the kid is he's special. Like, he has insane ball skills. He finds passes. He's very creative. He's got a great eye. And like I mentioned earlier, he can really score with both feet. So obviously we have very high expectations for him. And up to this point, they've kind of been subdued a little bit, I would say. But again, I think yesterday he was everything we would want and more. I think that he looked very comfortable on the ball. I thought that when they got the ball to him, he was looking to take on defenders. He was looking to create passes. He was looking to put pressure on the defense, which is something up to this point in the season I don't really feel like he's done too much. I think he's been a little bit more timid, a little bit more reserved. So it was good to see that, and it was good to see him having fun and, being with his teammates. And you could tell his teammates are starting to take to him a little bit more, which is a good sign. But yeah, all in all, great dribbling, great skill work, great passes. Created a bunch of chances with some of the passes that he created and passed. So yeah, all in all, thought it was a great performance by Verts. Definitely excited to see kind of how he builds on that, see if Slot keeps him on the left and keeps Gakpo on the right with Salah's form. So it'll be interesting to see. Slot did say part of the reason why he benched Mo is because of the amount of games that we have coming up, which I can kind of see, but I also think that it was kind of even a bigger reason to say, hey Mo, take a seat, let's change some stuff up, let's see how it works. So scored 2 goals, 2 good goals, kept a clean sheet, which was huge. There was one moment in the match where it looked like Alisson picked up another knock, and I'll be honest with you, I was gasping for air. I was so scared. I mean, Marbadashvili is a good backup and a good, plan B, but I mean, when Alisson's healthy and he's on his game, I think he's the best keeper in the world, and that's not even because I'm a Liverpool and Brazil supporter. I just think he's fantastic. I mean, he's great with his ball, the ball at his feet. He's great with the passes. He's obviously good with the saves. He's good at penalties. He's very composed. So, but yeah, he didn't pick up a knock. It looked like he was fine. He just kind of got, he caught a knee or something. He was holding himself, but yeah, he's all good to go. So, but all in all, very pleased with the match, very pleased with the play, the kind of the style and the flow that we were operating with. I mean, we dominated possession. We created way more chances, a lot of tackles, a lot of interceptions, a lot of chances created. Expected goals were pretty good. Passes completed was way more than West Ham. So, yeah, kind of getting back to that Liverpool style of football. Like I said, really pleased with it. I'm definitely feeling a little bit more optimistic moving on to this week with the Champions League match, and then Premier League again next weekend, or this upcoming weekend, I should say. So, a lot to build upon, lot to work on too. I think we just need to continue to get that rhythm. I think once we really know our starting 11 and who, those 3 or 4 impact subs will be, I think that things will be a lot better, and I think that the boys will have even that much more confidence. So, yeah. Super pumped, super pleased, looking forward to these next matches. Hopefully we can get back on track in the Champions League. Hopefully we can keep this going in the Premier League. So that's all I have for you guys today. If you would subscribe, share this podcast, tag somebody that you might think would be interested in it, I would greatly appreciate that. I am kicking around a couple ideas. I'm trying to see if I keep it specifically Liverpool or if I broaden it a little bit and talk more Premier League and international stuff, because I really like international football too, and the World Cup's coming up next year. So still kicking some stuff around. If you guys ever have suggestions or whatnot, feel free to comment. I definitely look at that stuff, so it's much appreciated. But yeah, that's all for me. I probably will get back on here either to do a preview of the Champions League match or to do a recap of the Champions League match. And then the same will go for the Premier League match on the weekend too. So that's all I got. Thanks for watching. Peace and love. Up the Reds.